It's on. If you want to, we can just do it as a conversation, me and you.
Yeah.
If you want to introduce yourself, your name, your team name, everything, go ahead.
What's up, fellas? You know me, Dre Frye, the best-looking triplet there is. Owner of formerly known as Team Bring It, formerly known as...
What were you before that?
I can't remember my team name last year for some reason because I just kind of want to put it behind me. But this year, pretty sure as of today, Insane Touchdown Posse. Type that down. Remember the name.
It's on there.
3 scores down. It sounded cool, but then Matt broke it down. I was like, well, that's just cheating. Screw you, bastard. Stupid commish.
All right, so we're going to very simply, we're going to start it off with your favorite player. How crucial has Odell been to your dynasty? Because you've been one of the top 3 or 4 teams ever since I joined the league for Arf's position. How crucial has Odell been for you, for your team?
He's been everything, to be completely honest. When I look at how I got him, honestly, I look at how fortunate I was that I had that waiver pick, and I even remember to this day, I'm pretty sure I didn't even have the number 1 waiver that week. I'm pretty sure it's 4, but I was just ahead of Joe, and of course, Joe didn't get him. I did.
Fuck you, Joe.
I did everything in my power to make sure that when I got him, that I knew I was going to keep him. Obviously, next year for the Belly, I try to make sure, try to put in as fair a policy as possible. I talked with Sloop nonstop in the offseason during that offseason about how, I keep this guy, but not just keep him forever. Keep him as long as, he's going to hold value. And when we set the thing in place, from there it just took off because obviously you see what this guy does, and he's a freak of nature. He's top 3 receiver in the NFL, and he's only 24 years old. He established himself his rookie season. He can go off at any time, and even, I guess for fantasy-wise, it sucks when he doesn't, but his floor is guaranteed 5 catches. Like, he's going to get looks. Freakish athlete, no one can shut him down.
Yeah.
He's got to be one of the main, if not the main reason why I am where I am every year in the standings, because to have this guy every year with the value that I have him, it's nice not to have to, I can use my first pick on somebody else.
Did you watch him in college, or was it the hype of preseason, or the hype of someone told you about him? Because I didn't really know too much about him other than that he was a good athlete.
I heard more about him as he was drafted. Down in LSU, you heard more about guys like Jarvis Landry, Spencer Ware, even Leonard Fournette. Zach Mettenberger was a QB. Like, you look at the team that they had and he played on, he was kind of overshadowed. But in that whole entire rookie class...
Jeremy Hill was supposed to be.
Jeremy Hill. Spencer Ware, I think, was also there at the time. Like, Jeremy Hill was the man. He was the man down there. And Mettenberger led them. Odell... Jarvis on the outside, again, he came in, he didn't really blow the pants off everybody in the combine because the rookie class was so deep at wide receiver that year. We're talking about Sammy Watkins went number 1 and Mike Evans went number 2. Sammy Watkins has so far been a bust, but only because he's injured. Mike Evans, he's top 5 in the league. Odell came in, drafted 11, I believe, completely overshadowed because he missed his 4 games. And guys like Brandon Cooks, behind
Hopkins
him,
was in there
DeAndre
too.
Hopkins, think about that. DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins, and Martavis Bryant on the same team. It's nuts to think about all those guys, all that talent on the same team, look where they are. But I really didn't hear about him until he got drafted. I didn't watch him really in the preseason, didn't really watch him in college. Big Florida State fan, so I don't really watch SEC football. I watched a little bit of Bama LSU, but, paid more attention to the guys on Bama because you see how much more dominant they are. So,
who's the Odell of this year? The guy that, might not play or hurt a couple games or whatever, that's not really getting pushed to the top, but is a rookie that probably will cement himself strongly. Not the Fournette, not the McCaffrey, not the Davis, but someone that you might be interested in. And if it's somebody that you're I want to keep on the back burner to draft, feel free to toss out a different name. But Who's the Odell this year?
Yeah, I don't mind sharing my secrets. I do a little research.
Luke was very cautious.
I look every day. Luke can be very cautious, it's fine because honestly, everybody's looking at the same people. I came to that realization last night for some reason, making my list for who I want, who I'm looking at. I'm actually going to try and pull it up because I always do my list with a lot of rookies here, because those are the guys that really you want to look out for. Those are the guys that you really have to kind of scout because of guys like Odell and with guys like Zeke Elliott and Jordan Howard, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. David Johnson. We can keep naming guys, but a guy I really like this year that I think is going to fly a little bit under the radar as far as like a rookie is I'm going to name two. I'm going to name one at running back, name one at wide receiver. We'll start with the wide receivers, and a guy I really like is Zay Jones. Zay Jones drafted Buffalo 2nd round. I watched his combine, and he's underratedly athletic as ever. Good body. We're talking about 6'2", 215 pounds. He played one of the Carolina schools. I'm not entirely sure.
East Coastal.
Coastal Carolina.
No, Eastern Carolina. ECU, the Pirates.
That's another thing too. Went to a smaller school, so it's kind of overshadowed because they think the competition, that he faces. But when you talk about guys that make it to the NFL, they make it to the NFL because they're that good. They're that talented. A lot of these guys get drafted based on skill set. They don't get drafted based on competition. Or else at that point everybody's taking everybody from the SEC and Clemson since they won the national championship this year. But I like Zay Jones because number one, Sammy Watkins can't stay healthy. Number two, Robert Woods is gone. They got to throw the ball to somebody. Tyrod, highly underrated, but when you talk about making a team one-dimensional, you already know Buffalo's going to run, if a guy like Sammy Watkins is out. So Zay Jones, based on talent alone, he's going to get he's slotted in already as the number 2. So if Sammy's out, he's the guy that you really got to watch out for. Guy I really like at running back, and you really can't judge, running backs coming in. We talked a little bit earlier off camera about, San Francisco. Joe Williams is a guy that I think a lot of people are already scouting. So I'm going to give you the guy that I know a lot of people aren't scouting, and they probably will after I say this. Marlon Mack.
Yep.
Marlon Mack from the Indianapolis Colts, I think, can be a stud. I watched his film.
USF kid.
Watched his tape, just out of curiosity. And, the kid can run from South Florida. I actually watched him play Florida State, and he broke a couple runs. I didn't realize it was him until after, I was watching his YouTube highlights. And, I look at that because if the Colts are going to succeed, they need a run game. And I know Frank Gore's there, but Frank Gore's 34 years old. Like, how much more does he really have in the tank? It's amazing to see what he's done over a career, and he's still, to me, one of the most slept-on running backs of all time. I guess you can say it now because he's 34 years old. Like, he's just really near the end of his career. But Marlon Mack is a guy I think that is going to open up a lot of eyes in the preseason, when it gets closer to fantasy time.
Yeah.
Dude can
I
ball.
hope he does well.
I hope so, too.
Talk about how you almost had the team of destiny with Todd Gurley kind of bumming out last year.
Well, it
Like,
wasn't.
because you kept Todd, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of, he wasn't bad to a point of a RB2, RB3, but he wasn't Todd Gurley.
It's still I look back at this team. It's still amazing to see me finish in 3rd, basically. I did finish in 3rd, and I look at my team, and honestly, it's based on just talent. Talent. Because and great drafting. I really got credit. I got to toot my own horn here a little bit for great drafting because, number one, Todd Gurley, complete bust. To say I got him in the 4th round because his rookie year I drafted him in 6th. So I kept him, keeper value, 4th round. If he would have rushed over 1,000 yards, I probably would have won the championship. He was god-awful last year. And to the point where I got rid of him in my other keeper league this year. I traded for Odell Beckham, kind of unite the fronts there. But you know, him just completely shit in the bed really kind of screwed me over because I expected big things out of him. He was my running back 1. I did not expect my running back 2 to really put up the numbers he did. So again, I credit great drafting. Now your guy, Melvin Ingram, you know, Melvin Ingram's a guy who picked up Melvin Gordon. I'm sorry. You're right. Ingram's he's on the defensive side of the ball. Same team. The defensive side of the ball. Both good.
Yeah, Gordon finally did well.
Yeah, I wasn't really not sleeping on him, I should say. I thought Melvin Gordon was going to be a good back. He just really didn't get the opportunities. In San Diego last year, you know, I saw week 1, he was a guy I was targeting heavy. I was shocked he fell around 5 because I took him after Latavius Murray. But Melvin Gordon's a guy who kind of really saved my season since Todd Gurley was, you know, shit the bed, and I was waiting for him to just pick it up. But, you know, it's tough because I don't blame Todd a lot for it. You know, I watched a lot of Rams games because he's my guy. You know, I had him in 2 leagues, in like 2 dynasty leagues. You know, this is semi-dynasty, the other one's also semi-dynasty, but they're doing parameters on the keepers. So he was a guy I had, and I watched a lot of games with me and Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher freaking stinks. I'm so glad he got fired because he's a guy, he ruined that team.
Yeah.
Like, he completely ruined that team. He completely ruined Todd Gurley last year. You know, so I credit a lot of Todd Gurley's failures to Jeff Fisher. So he's number 1 of why I kind of slack there for you know, not winning but 3rd seed, I guess.
And Hopkins.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. He's another guy I got to look at because I gave up Dez for him because Dez was hurt, and I traded him a 3rd round pick. I thought it was a great deal. Yeah, I didn't think Osler was going to shit the bed, but man, he really just brought that guy down, you know, to the point where this guy's mentally defeated. Again, we all watched Red Zone. We all seen some DeAndre Hopkins games, and it was just so bad to watch. You know, Thursday Night Football, Osweiler couldn't get the ball there, you know, but Tom Savage is the QB there now, and I'm really, really excited to see Deshaun Watson play. But 3rd and probably most important guy that failed me outside of Gurley was Big Rob Gronkowski. He's my first pick. You know, he's a guy that when he's healthy, he's just a game changer. I had him, I think he played 6 games out of the fantasy season. In each game, he was just, you know, dominant. He played in, but he also played extremely hurt. So there's some games where he just wouldn't really kind of do anything you expect him to. I know he dominated the Steelers. I was there, witnessed that. But he's really the guy I look at the most that kind of just failed me because he's my first round pick. Like, I passed on so many guys. I passed on players that I wanted but couldn't get because I thought Gronk was a game changer where I was drafting, and I thought getting him in 1 would have been the best because, you know, between him and then my second pick, Dez, who ironically I traded for Hopkins, like, if I had hit those 2 picks, I probably would have been in the championship.
Talk about Jordan Howard, because that's another kind of OBJ-esque situation where it just worked out.
It is, and honestly, that's a guy that, you know, talk about flying under the radar. That's why, you know, look at guys like Marlon Mack, you know, look at guys like Joe Williams this year. And Jordan Howard, he's a freak. I'm just going to say it. This guy is an absolute stud. I did not expect to get this guy last year again where I did. And I didn't have the first waiver. I had like maybe 2nd or 3rd. Got lucky. Got Jordan Howard because Jeremy Langford really crapped the bed. And he's a guy a lot of people target the first couple weeks. And Jordan Howard, watching him play football, it was just incredible because Cutler was hurt when he was there. I mean, it's Jay Cutler. You know what you're getting. He's not that great. Kevin White was hurt. Alshon Jeffrey, I don't think, was all that healthy. So he didn't really do anything. Jordan Howard averaged 5 yards a carry behind the offensive line. It was really good. With 2 top wide receivers hurt, with Kevin White being out, big part of the year. Jeffrey just kind of, playing injured, decoy, whatever, in and out. Zach Miller, they lost for the rest of the year. Jordan Howard is the one person who actually kept them going. And if I did not have him, he's the real reason. Like, Melvin Gordon was awesome, and, having Odell's awesome. But Jordan Howard literally saved my season, because you need a running back like that could just, take over games. And, he played 12 games, and he finished second in rushing. Like, that's not a fluke, And I look at the running back the year before who kind of did that, and Todd Gurley. I see what he did early on, but I see what he did later on. Todd Gurley kind of, fell off.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Howard picked it up, man. And, it's not like Kevin White came back. It's not like Alshon Jeffrey was there. Jordan Howard, he single-handedly destroyed the Vikings. The number one rushing defense at the time. Single-handedly destroyed. I remember watching that game. And in my other league, and in this league, I needed Jordan Howard to at least do something. I did not expect him to. And, he broke his first 3 runs, 6, 7, 10. And he broke a 60-yarder. I couldn't freaking believe it. I was like, this dude's going to single-handedly win me 2 leagues. It's incredible, because they had nobody. They had absolutely no one. This guy he's a beast. And this year, from everything I've been reading, he does nothing but train. He's a good person, so he's not out partying. He's in the gym, 24/7. He slimmed down, added some speed. He's a guy I was looking at heavy because, you want to put in. I don't know if anybody bets, but I think about putting in a rushing title bet with Jordan Howard, because barring crazy injuries or offensive line, I think he could really do it, because he's the focal point of their offense. Like, look at guys like Matt Forte. Yeah, they weren't that good when Forte was there, but Forte was a beast fantasy player. He got receptions, rushing yards, rush over 1,000. They ran the hell out of him, but Jordan Howard's going to be the main cog in this offense this year. This insane touchdown posse offense.
Talk about what it's going to be like, because we have the first time since I've joined, there's a new person in the league. So I think that's 4 years. There's finally a new person. Talk a little bit about what it means to lose Adam, because he won 2 of the past 3 years. I mean, luck aside, he's good. And then you hear the rumors Gorman's good. You hear the rumor Gorman knows what he's talking about. We don't know what to expect out of him. Talk a little bit about both of them.
First off, I'm going to look directly in the camera, and I'm going to say, Mike Gorman, welcome to the league. We are glad to have you on board. Secondly, I'm going to look at the camera and say, tip of the cap to Adam, because this man, he did bring it every week. It's really hard to be as consistent as possible in the league without, I look at my consistency, I look at it mainly as luck. I have Odell Beckham Jr., like you're talking about, a guy like that. Adam really never had anybody like that. So I credit his success to, honestly, great scouting, good drafting, and he made a couple will and deals, moves, free agency there, which also helps, but that again comes with scouting. Losing him is going to be tough, because he didn't provide more than just competition. He was a trash talker. He was like the heel of the league. If anybody's a wrestling fan, you talk about heels, the bad guy. The guy that everybody wants to beat. I look at it as like Sluke, but a guy I never want to lose to every time I play him is Adam, because it's frickin' Adam. Like, everybody, when you say that, you just say it's frickin' Adam. Like, you don't want to lose to the guy.
Yeah.
But he's really good. So, replacing him is going to be wild. It's going to be fun. For me, I don't like to see how he left. I mean, we gave him an opportunity. We gave him every opportunity possible. We all told him, like, Adam, this isn't personal, it's just business. And he made it personal, and that kind of sucks, because more than just the league, it's a way to stay in touch, as friends. Like, Gross is down in Mississippi. I miss you, Gross. Cochran was overseas for a while. Glad you're home. Everybody's, we're all grinding out their own thing. Pretty sure Joe just proposed. Donnie proposed. Gross got a family. So it's, with Adam, leaving, it's kind of like, you almost like lose a friend. But I guess it's more on us to keep in touch with him. And I'm sure, there's this waiting list, but, I'm sure if he wants to come back, if there's any way possible, I'm sure we can fandangle it. But I guess I hate the way that he left. More than anything, that's what sucks. I don't mind that he left. I hate the way that he left.
How it all ended. But on a lighter note, difference between this league and a redraft league or a league you're just going to start tomorrow? What do you like most about this league itself?
Excuse me. You guys are the guys I've known, the longest on all my fantasy leagues. So, I really like that. It's nostalgic, I guess, in a sense, but, it's, I guess what I really like about this league is that, every year there's somebody new, except for Steve. Had to take a shot at Steve. I mean, come on now. But no, every year, honestly, there's somebody new. Always at the top. I know Adam has won 2 out of the last 3 years, but Sluke.
Don last year played.
Yeah.
Out of his mind.
Yeah, you get Don, but Don's kind of like the San Francisco Giants of our league. He's up here, then he's down here, and he's up here. Last year he was up here, so he might be down here because it's an odd year. So, it's an even year. So he'll probably be up there next year, Cochran's, obviously, he's really good. He's always balling out. As long as he gets his guy AB, then it's over. But no, you see guys like, I'm pretty sure the year my brother did it, he was in the playoffs. And I missed out. You can go back farther. I used to shit the bed. I used to suck. My best player at the time. Remember the year Chris Johnson came in after his 2,000-yard season? I had the second pick. I took Chris Johnson because he was there. Yeah, I took him after LT. I was like, yeah, I'm going to ball out. This dude completely sucked. I finished 2-14. I had one player on my team that year. It was Randy Moss. He had 50 touchdowns, and I still lost every game. And now look at me. I'm at the top. But who knows where I'm going to end up this year, because you really don't know. Yeah. With all my other leagues, I at least know who's always going to be at the top. This league, I don't. Yeah. And that's what I really like about it. Everybody does their homework, but there's so many little nuances in place to make sure everything is competitively balanced. We talked about earlier, my 2 stud keepers, Jordan Howard and Odell Beckham. I haven't won this league yet. I haven't even won with them yet. Although this is the first year I get to keep Jordan Howard. I guess we'll see what happens. But I've had Odell, year 4, I believe he's in the leagues. Yeah. So this will be my 4th year having him. I haven't won yet.
Who are your, like I said, strategy, keep aside, whatever it is. Sleepers and keepers, do you have guys that you're targeting later in the draft? Are there people you really like? And are there teams that you, like NFL teams, like you are really onto the Colts wide receivers or something like that? What's your mentality going into the draft?
I'll tell you one thing, I'm definitely not on the Colts unless Andrew Luck's playing. And even then, I don't know if I'm going to be on the Colts because they can't block for shit. And I know I was talking about Marlon Mack earlier, but still they can't block for shit. That's purely based on age and opportunity. But, I look at guys where the quarterback is in, the movement. What I mean by the movement is, who's in, who's out. Who do they add, who was subtracted. How old is somebody, are they coming off an injury? So, guy I did really like this year was Phillip Rivers. I thought he would have been a good QB to have because he gets Keenan Allen back. They just drafted Mike Williams. He's another guy I liked. Now Mike Williams is hurt, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that value. And can you even trust Keenan Allen? At least if Keenan Allen did get hurt, you had Mike Williams. Mm-hmm. Travis Benjamin was going to be healthy. And, Tyrell Williams came out of nowhere. He's another guy you kind of look at. But I guess with the Keenan Allen injury history and Mike Williams, his back, whatever's going to happen with that. Look at a guy like Tyrell Williams, see what he can do, Phillip Rivers loves them tight ends too, so you see a guy like Antonio Gates still balling out, but there's a guy you shouldn't sleep on, and that's Hunter Henry, So I kind of look at, who's in, who's out. Another team I like to look at is the New Orleans Saints. You know, guys' value who went extremely down, in my opinion, is Mark Ingram. I think Joe's keeping him still. Still announced him as a starter. How are you going to be the starter when you're talking about top 5 running back all time behind you? I don't even care how old he is if he's coming off an injury. Dude is a freak.
Yeah, and they got Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
He's one of mine to watch. Alvin Kamara he was insane in college, and I don't know why they drafted him after getting AB. So
Drew Brees, he loves some scat bags. You saw what he does with Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
Like him, Darren Sproles, Reggie Bush, like he loves scat backs. Every QB loves a scat back. Guy that they probably had high hopes for, who is now gone, was Brandon Cooks. You know, that opens up the door for a guy like Michael Thomas. Willie Snead is a guy in there now who I think is going to turn into a big-time PPR target, and not just this league, probably all the leagues. Excuse me, just because Cooks is gone, everyone knows about Michael Thomas. He ain't sneaking up on nobody this year. Signed Ted Ginn, you know, to do what Brandon Cooks basically did. Not in a nutshell, but, you know, just kind of clear out, you know, space, and then if you're going to throw the occasional deep ball to him if he's open. You look at a team, really there's only 2 guys I like on this team, although I'm very intrigued about the third guy. I'm going to stick with Brandon Cooks on the Patriots. He's a guy that I am very intrigued about because the Patriots they're weird. They're weird in how they operate. You know, it's like they traded all this to get this guy, but I'm in the mindset that, like, Bill Belichick really likes to get guys, and he thinks they're going to fit in, but he really just kind of keeps these guys away from other teams so they don't hurt him. That's the way I think he thinks. But he'll unleash them in the right time. Like, give up all this stuff to get, you know, all these picks to get Brandon Cooks. I don't think he's going to come in right away and just explode, but they will find ways to get him the ball. But you talk about the only 2 guys that I only like, shocker here, Tom Brady, and I like Gronk. Obviously, Gronk's the number 1. He'll be the de facto number 1 because when he's healthy, he's a guy that you have to account for, but only certain teams can because they have the personnel to really match up. Really, the only team that has that is Seattle with Cam Chancellor. But you talk about all the mouths that have to be fed there, like Chris Hogan, he's going to drop. You know, Malcolm Mitchell, year 2, let's see what he can do. I'm talking about other mouths that need fed. They traded for Dwayne Allen. Julian Edelman is still there, who, in my opinion, his stock has went just plummeted. Very solid receiver. Tom Brady loves him, so you know he's probably going to be the check down guy. They have four running backs.
All insane.
All need fed, and Dion Lewis, Mike Gillislee, which Brad Evans really likes. Brad Evans, my guy. I will say that. Who else say it? James White.
And then my favorite sleeper ever is Rex Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead.
He's the number 1 high school running back coming out towards ACL senior year.
Danny Woodhead Jr.
Yep.
I mean...
But you can't trust any of them. You can't trust a single person on that roster except for maybe Gronk and Brady. You're right. And
it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Like, they have so many weapons. Like, how are you going to feed all of those guys? Cook is the only one that really, outside of Gronk and Brady, who I'm actually very excited about because I want to see how he fits in. I want to see how they scheme for this guy because, again, you can't just give up all of this to get this guy without having a plan for him.
Who's your, and this is obviously a question that I'm sure you haven't never thought about, your defense/kicker target this year? I mean, what's your plan for it? Because in our league, I always go for a higher defense early so I can save my last picks for last draft so they can be mine forever. Is there a defense that's not really on anyone else's radar that intrigues you? And then who's your favorite kicker? I mean, we don't know who your favorite kicker is. I've never heard you talk about a kicker.
I mean, kicker's different because Brandon McManus, baby. that might be my shining moment in this league is drafting Brandon McManus, no one knowing who he is. Oh, Connor Bart's gonna be the starter. Gets cut.
Not even a stick person to do.
Brandon McManus steps Nelson. I look like a hero.
He's
Oh,
got a
man.
leg, man. He's got a leg.
The greatest draft, by the way, because that was the same year. Same year we stayed at, I'm pretty sure you were there that night. We stayed at Sluke's, Tom, Don.
I was at the draft. I didn't stay at Sluke's.
Okay, we stayed the night before. We played a little beer pong. It was the first time I ever knew Sluke drunk was drank, by the way. I was just so shocked. But that was also the year that Don drafts Jordy Nelson.
And
Tears his ACL.
yeah, the game we're watching. And Steve drafted 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 picks.
Bevan Rogers.
And he picked a bunch of guys that were already taken. And
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. But someone's probably gonna take McManus as being an ass, and that's okay. You know, I don't really look at kickers, but unless it's McManus.
That's how I feel about Caro Santos.
But
What about defenses? Is there a defense that you're kind of excited to see how they do through preseason, or are you going to go with one of the bona fide studs like a Seattle or Broncos or something like that?
Yeah, I always try to target the bona fide studs.
Yeah.
I really do. But there's actually do have some sleeper defenses, and I really think that they're going to be targeted early. Last year, the obvious surprise was Minnesota. I think they're a team that's going to end up in the top 30 defenses. I always like Arizona's because it's a passing league. They have good DBs. So I think that's another, again, top 5 under the radar defense. I actually really, really like. Maybe a homer pick, but I like the Steelers' defense this year. I think that they're young, athletic. If they can stay healthy, their defense I think really has a chance to create turnovers because they have good pass rushers now. They're stacked on the defensive line, and they have guys that can run with receivers in this league since you can't really touch them. So I like them. Miami, I'm really high on Miami this year.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're going to be a good defense. I don't want to say the addition of Timmons. He's going to provide something there, but he's not really the guy I'm talking about. They drafted a guy I was really high on. One of the shows for getting Raekwon McMillan. I think he's going to come in and be an automatic impact player. He might win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I played at Ohio State. They get Rashawn Jones back, safety there. Byron Maxwell really kind of took off last year. I don't know who their other corner is. But another defense that I'm sure is really, really, really slept on is I'm gonna keep one defense myself, and that's the defense of the draft. But this defense is definitely slept on this year. San Diego. San Diego.
Flowers had a good year. Ingram had a good year.
And Casey Hayward was really.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was as good as he was last year.
I wish they still had Weedle, but that's just out of
I do.
white.
I do wish he still had Weedle because he was the #1 rated defensive safety last year. Steelers could have had Weedle, but he's on the Ravens now, so whatever, screw him. He'll just enjoy losing the rest of his life. But I really do like San Diego this year, and it's going to be fun to watch them because Travis Benjamin will be the guy returning punts, and everyone talks about defense. They forget the special teams aspect. The special teams aspect is actually really important because I remember my big money league is more money we pay for this league. So I call it my big money league. It's a league where I had Gurley, 4 keepers. The year I won, I had the #1 defense, and it wasn't because the defense was good. They created a lot of turnovers, but it was because of Devin Hester. I had the Bears. And
He scored every time he touched the ball.
dude, they had
11 touchdowns that
They had 100 more points than the #2 defense. I've never seen anything like it in that league. They had the #1 defense, and they beat some of like premier, not like premier players, but like slot wide receiver 3s, flex players. Like they were studs that year. Ever since then, I always try to target the defense, and I never sleep on it. Nobody should ever sleep on the defenses.
It's okay. 2 more questions.
Okay.
This one, it's always a running joke. Talk about living in the shadow of Arf and the Fantasy Glory, because Half Man, Half Beast was a great team.
Great team name.
A great team name. It was a horrible team because I took it over, and the only player that was on that I liked was Lynch.
Which fit the name.
Yep. No, talk about. talk about Arf. How's he doing? Give everyone an update on him. How's his career going? Is he coming back to the league when he retires?
Arv is good. He's down in Ocean City right now enjoying his vacation. Living in a shadow. it's something I'm probably never going to escape, but, that's fine because I'm always the loud one, the outspoken one. He's more the soft-spoken person, which can kind of yin and yang. So that's why it's always different. Everyone always wants to know how he's doing. But he's doing well. He's always chilling. Like, that's his thing. We're like, bro, how you doing? He's like, I'm chilling, man. Like, where are you chilling? He's like, oh, I'm at the beach. How you just chilling at the beach? Like, if I was ever like, yeah, I'm at the beach getting wild. Like, this
not even chilling, just
relaxing.
Yeah,
he's just chilling. Like, he's definitely still trying to go to the league.
Yeah.
I've kind of, I've always been realistic about it. And it's really hard to do, and I don't lose faith in him trying to because I see how hard he works at it every day. I see how much he puts into it every day of his life. But, the most important thing for me is that not only is he going for it, but he's also getting his education process.
Exactly.
And if he doesn't go, that's fine. Everyone always talks about statistics. And, the best thing you can do, the best thing any athlete can do is set themselves up for the future. Because you see all of these athletes, and there are some very smart athletes out there, people you probably wouldn't think are smart. Marshawn Lynch is a guy that I honestly misjudge when they talk about managing money. You see a lot of guys just go broke. Marshawn Lynch didn't spend a dime of his contract money. He lives specifically off endorsements. Now he's back, so he might, we might need more money. Who knows? But, he's 2 years off. He's a year off of football. Like, that's going to do wonders for our body. He's on the Raiders, so he's like the feature back, and they have guys that can spell him. But he lives strictly off of endorsements, and I think that's crazy to me. And then you see guys like Larry Fitzgerald, who I don't know how he spends his money, but he went back to school. He made it a mission to go back to school because he made a promise to his mom to get his degree. Because mom always told him, your college degree is going to set you up for life. Football's going to set you up for a while. College is going to set you up for life. And he's got his master's degree, something I don't have. Something I could have if I put in the time, but I'm past that right now. Like, the only way I would get a master's is if a company was going to pay for it. Like, he's still there. He wanted to go play football, but he found out so much more that a degree means so much more. And if he doesn't go to the league, at least he has that master's to fall back on. He has the knowledge, all the stuff that he learned in football. The skills that it can teach you outside, within the game if he's going to coach, or outside the game as far as being a leader in the community. So, with that master's and, with everything he's gained, he can kind of use both to go to new heights, places that the NFL can't take him. Yeah. But he's doing well. He definitely does miss everybody that I can say. He's known Sloop forever. You've known him forever. We've known him forever. Donnie, even guys like Smitty. Him and Smitty have a funny relationship. Actually, it's hilarious. Just thinking of memories and stuff. But he's doing well. I definitely know that he wishes the best. He actually told me a story. He saw Donnie in the gym a couple. He called me. He had this time. He's like, I saw Donnie Gainwell. And Donnie actually, he told me it was because this was before the meeting at Hoff.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the week before, so he told me, he's like, we had a conversation for like an hour. Donnie actually goes like, yeah, we were sitting there bullshitting. I felt really bad. He's trying to work out. Meanwhile, I talked to Art, and he's like, I couldn't stop talking to this dude. I haven't seen him forever. It just makes you think like everybody knows what he's about, but he misses everybody at the same time.
I mean, you guys are both magnetic humans. Like, you both are very easy to talk to, very easy to get along with. never get big heads about anything, so it's nice to he goes away, you go away, whatever it is. Like I hadn't seen you for how long, and then I joined the league, and it's right back where you were. And that's how both of you are. It's very easy.
That's how it should be.
And the transition from that is your last question is your rivalry smack talk. 2 minutes of whatever the fuck you want to say, whatever. Yeah, the transition nicely. This is where you talk. For example, Slook talked about Cochran's ex-wife getting remarried and how that's going to get in his head for this season.
That was savage.
And then he apologized and said Cochran can make fun of me for being fat.
Yeah, because that's the same thing. That's the same thing. Sloop did put on some weight. I'm not going to lie, but dude, I read that. I was like, dude, that's so fucking cruel.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not like Sloop. Like, I'm not gonna cut the. I'm not gonna.
You get
cut
to put me through
knife.
a table.
That's probably what I was gonna. That's the best thing I can say. Is like, I can't say anything. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna put you through the table because we shook on it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine.
We're doing it. We just gotta find the right.
We gotta find the right table.
It might be this one.
It might be that one. That thing's wobbling. But I don't know, man. You're not that good. I'm not the best smack talker.
Beat you 2 years ago.
You did maybe 2 years ago, and it was a tough loss because it knocked me from fifth, third to fifth. I actually had to play in the wild card game, and I was so pissed. But I played you and I won, so I don't really care. But yeah,
we talk about our rivalry as a whole. Talk about how we're obviously the best rivals, and Slook always says we have a weird rivalry because we know that each other is the best because we're in a league full of fuckheads. But it
was like you got a rival, like cool man. I played Derek. It's like the Steelers play the Ravens.
Like, you're the Ravens? Is that
no?
Oh, okay. Okay.
But like there's a mad respect there. We sit there, we trash talk like Andrew Luck trash talks. Like, hey man, good play. It's all your touchdown over there. Good job. We do have a weird rivalry, and I kind of like that. Everyone's like all cutthroat, like it's mad respect, but I'm gonna put you through a table. And you're completely down for it.
I lost. I have to.
And whatever fucked up thing's gonna happen for this one, which I'm sure after the table you're gonna be plotting, and I'm 100% game for it. All I'm saying is like that's our rivalry. Like it's like. Whatever happens, happens. If I lose, I lose. But at least I know I lost to the better man.
I am the better man. Feel free to look on the camera and send shots at anyone in the league, how bad Steve is, how far away Gross is, how Mike's wife left him. Feel free to say anything you would like.
First off, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Because I understand that's like trash talk, but that's just a cutthroat. I don't know. I think this is too personal. That's me, but I don't know. Slook, you are fat. I didn't really notice until the last time I saw you. You're actually huge. You might be like 230. You're as big as Derek's missing tooth gap is wide, which is like pretty fucking wide at this point. I see videos and I just see that thing. I'm like, whoa! Gorman, I like you. I always thought you were a weird dude. But in a good way. I don't know. We were on track together, so I'm just glad you're in the league. Donnie, I miss your Jufro. Dude, it to me is still crazy that Donnie used to be so fat. And now he's not. But hey, that's what you do. You put in the work. He did really slim down in high school, which is nice. So that's cool. He's high all the time, too, which still blows my mind. Just because I didn't think Donnie would ever smoke weed. But hey, man, do you, boo-boo. You do you. Tom, I can't ever talk shit on Tom. Tom is the nicest dude, and it's just, he blocks you in his eyes. It's just like, it's incredible. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, shit. Who else? Steve. I'm getting Steve. Oh, man. Steve, how old are you? Like 27? Dude, you're already bald. That must suck. That must suck so bad. I know I'm getting there, but like, dude, you're like Mr. Lemon Bald. And everybody knows how bald that is. You're going to look like him when you're 30. and that sucks.
Joe.
Joe. Dude, one thing about Joe that's really funny, I really like I did not know that, like, you have a gray patch on your beard, and you're, like, younger than Steve. I don't know what's worse. The fact Steve's going bald, which is kind of normal, or the fact you have gray hair, and you're in your 20s. Best of luck to you, bro, because I know you're getting married. Dead man walking.
Gross.
Gross. Come home, man. You're just too far. Like, I get it. You know, you got family. Just come home. You're 100% Yinzer. You show up in a Steelers hat, folded brim, Steelers shirt on, ready to party, and we're all in fucking suits and shit like we just got off work. You're Yinzer to the core. And you live in Mississippi! That place is gonna tear you apart. There's nothing to do down there but watch the fucking river flow. And fish. But you like fishing, so. Just come home, man. Am I forgetting anybody?
Let's see. Me, you, Mike, Matt, Gorman, Don, Tom, Joe, Gross, Steve. No.
I got them all.
All right. That is it.
Sorry. Good luck this year, everyone.